Greetings, I am Toglin, Hell's Harlequin, but you may call me Tog. Well, it's been a little while since I've done a video, hasn't it? Now, this isn't going to be a simple update, no, we're going to do a full-on story time because the last couple weeks have been crazy. My therapist thinks it would be good for me to make more real-life friends because I don't have too many of those. When it comes to approaching people that I might theoretically meet online, I'm very shy. Despite the fact when I actually meet people, I'm quite gregarious. My husband is the total reverse from that, so he was helping me try and make some friends in some sort of friend meet type site. Anyways, there was a girl who approached him because his profile said he likes science and anime and that him and his wife are looking to meet new friends. So, he'd been chatting with her for over a month, and she gave us this sob story about how she has this abusive boyfriend and how she used to do drugs and her children were taken away from her and she really needs someone to help her out. So she decided to run away from her boyfriend and we gave her a place to stay. When I actually met her, she wasn't at all what I expected. I was expecting some sort of geeky otaku type of girl into video games and whatnots, maybe a little bit too hyper for her own good. Instead, we got this girl who seemed like she was very into urban subculture and all that implies with it. But then I decided not to judge a book by its cover. She was probably some sort of closet nerd. That's how she presented herself, and why would she lie to us, right? When she came to stay with us, the only thing she brought with her was a purse and the clothes on her back. She had nothing she could change into. I decided to contact my cousin because the two of them were roughly the same size, and my cousin lived close by. We were quite fortunate because my cousin said that just last week she weeded through all her clothes she didn't want anymore and had a large bag she was intending to donate, but she never got around to it. So naturally we went over there to pick up the bag of clothes. When we went in, we noticed that there were some people smoking weed, which is actually legal in this state. However, I do not partake because I think it smells really gross, and when people smoke weed and get near you, I automatically get a headache. I have no idea why it's so appealing. But anyways, I digress. Sorry to go off on a little tangent there. She swooped in like a magpie and basically helped herself. I should point out that the one who was smoking pot wasn't my female cousin who we came to get the clothes from. It would have been one of her roommates, which happens to be one of my other cousins. But anyway, my house guest offered my female cousin if she wanted to partake, and my female cousin refused, saying that she had a past history of drug addiction, so now she's just trying to stay away from it all. The two of them started bonding over their mutual predicaments. Now here's where I encountered the first major red flag. I overheard her telling my cousin that she's been clean for a whole 4 days. Now she implied to us that she's been clean for well over a month, if not longer. So, this was quite a distressing thing to overhear. Moving on to the second big red flag, she offered to buy me some groceries because she claimed to have around $60 on food stamps on her. I said that would be nice considering the fact that she had been raiding our pantry since she got there and had been eating us out of house and home. That girl could eat so much. It was impressive, actually, considering that she was so thin and that I am breastfeeding at the moment, so I have to eat more calories than the average person, and she ate 2 to 3 times as much as I did. Went to the grocery store and started loading up the cart. I brought with me a small list of things I needed, and she started loading it up with all sorts of rather expensive junk foods and snacks, which I knew that would go over 60, but I just let her do what she was going to do and figured we'd fix it at the register. When we went to the register, however, she did not have $60 on her food stamps card. She had exactly $17.50. Which the funny thing is, we took everything off besides the stuff I had on my list, and my list came to exactly $17.50, so that was pretty funny. As we were walking away from the checkout, I noticed that there was a packet of sushi underneath my daughter Vera's car seat in the cart, and I was intending to grab it, but then my house guest tried to divert me away, saying, "Oh, I'll meet you outside. I then knew that she was intending to shoplift that sushi. I promptly grabbed it and handed it to the cashier, saying, "Whoops, I'm sorry, we forgot about this as well." One thing I cannot stand thieves. On the ride home, it occurred to me that I never asked her what her drug of choice was. So I decided to ask, and then she told me, meth. I would have been happy to hear almost any other drug besides that. So, that was another serious red flag for me. I decided to lay down some very stern house rules. I said that if she ever came back high, or if she ever did drugs in my house, that she would be kicked out immediately, and she would also be kicked out if I ever caught her trying to shoplift again. Every day I had to lay down more and more house rules because every day she found a way to drive me crazy. With my mental illnesses, I'm rather touchy about sounds and sights and things because I can get overstimulated easily, and if I'm overstimulated, that can trigger a really bad anxiety attack, and my anxiety attacks can last for hours. So, unless I turn on the TV or whatnots, it's best to just leave these things off and keep the house quiet unless I say it's okay. I know that sounds rather authoritarian, but it's what's necessary to keep my sanity. But anyways, she ignored that. She played TV all day. She blasted music from my husband's computer, which I found out he didn't even say that she could be on his computer. He told her that he was going to make her a guest login and that she could be on there then, but she decided to use his computer ahead of time, so then she was strictly forbidden from using the computer. I also let her use my phone so that she could call her family and tell them that she was okay. And then she proceeded to go through my friends list, contacting my cousins and contacting the few friends that she's met, hounding them to see if she could get pot from them. I was very, very upset and had to lay some very strict rules on her. She asked me to cover her acne with some makeup, so I did. I had lots of cotton balls and Q-tips and whatnots. After applying some makeup on her, I guess she figured it was fine to use my makeup because she was in the bathroom using my frickin' makeup without my permission. So I had to put a stop to all of that because she was a very, very inconsiderate house guest. We also had to make a rule that she was not allowed to have any snack foods unless she saw people already eating the snack foods because she kept on opening bags of chips and bags of crackers even when there was plenty already open. So, I have no idea how someone can reach the age of 29 and have that little social grace or social awareness. It's completely baffling. I'm willing to forgive annoying eccentricities as long as the person's still trying to improve upon themselves. So let's get to why I kicked her out, because I'm sure all of us see this as an inevitability at this point, don't we? Seems like she didn't realize that since she was using my phone I could see every text she made. She propositioned 4 different guys so that she could leave there for the night. She finally got one to agree and begged and pleaded until we finally took her to go see her friend. Mostly just because me and my husband wouldn't have minded just being away from her for the night is why we even agreed to it. The next day she was babbling to herself like a maniac, and clearly coming down from something. We confronted her saying, "You know, we're not naive. We know you did drugs and we know you probably did meth." She tried to deny it. She said, "No, I was sexually assaulted." And I'm like, "I seriously doubt that." She's like, "You don't understand me. You don't care about me." And I said, "You have one more chance to stay with us. Go to rehab and you can stay here until your admission to rehab is complete." She didn't want to go to the rehab that I suggested, so I told her to pick another because there's 25 different rehabs in the state that took Medicaid, and she had Medicaid. So she picked out the one she wanted. We went to the UPS store, printed out the forms. It was a very long form, so it took us $7 in printing fees in order to get her damn forms. I told her to start filling the forms out because I'd like to turn those in at Monday. She started saying that she needed a medical and making all sorts of other excuses to delay it. And I said, "Well, start filling them out now. I want them completely filled out by Monday, and if we need to take you in for a medical, we'll deal with that when it comes." And then she started throwing a temper tantrum saying that, "You don't understand me. I'm going to quit pretending that I am who I'm not just to fit in with you guys." And my comment was, "Why were you doing that in the first place? Because I could already figure these things out. You don't know anything about anime other than DBZ. You don't play video games. You're nothing like you said you were." So, she already was a fake person. I don't care. Just fill out the forms. You can stay with us until this process is done. But you have to actually show some initiatives. And then she said, "I'm not a peasant. You can't just order me around like you're a queen." And I said, "Things just aren't working out. You have to go. Today." So, she made a lot of phone calls and begged and pleaded with other people and then got some sucker to take her in. We drove her there, and said good riddance, and hopefully that's the end of it. Well, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I wish all of you a pleasant rest of your day.